What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station. Welcome back to Amazing World of Gumball. Welcome to the robot. This episode is so boring. Like, it's not bad, but it's just so boring because almost literally nothing of substance actually happens. What's the plot? Gumball and Darwin try to help uh, Bobert the robot act a little bit more human. And then the robot takes it too far and completely tries to steal Gumball's life. And the rest of the episode is him and Bobert having a fight in the backyard. And then he gets defeated by a sprinkler, which resets him. And then each episode ends on a cliffhanger with him starting to mock Darwin's voice. Who cares? The only highlight of this episode, honestly, is the fight in the backyard, and that's just because it goes so insane and over the top. But outside of that, it's too slow, it's too mean spirited, and it's way too cliche. There, that's the review. Final verdict, 5 out of 10. Let's move on to the picnic before I fall asleep. Alright, this one, it is still repetitive because it is just Gumball and Darwin being lost in the woods for 11 minutes. But it's at least a little bit better because there are actual funny moments to talk about. So, let's discuss. So, after getting lost in the woods because they completely don't listen to Miss Simi instructions like at all, they try to find ways to survive. And that's pretty much the episode. Then they go feral for a moment, they have a breakup moment, only for it to barely last like 5 minutes. And then the episode ends with them being running out of the woods and eating garbage, and then being left behind again. Because Miss Simeon clearly just does not care about these two. Bad teachering. I wouldn't say this episode's half-efforted per se, but I would say that it is kind of generic because we've had this kind of plot 1,000 times over in 1,000 other cartoons. You know, the whole cartoon characters get lost in the woods and almost eat each other cliche. We've seen it 1,000 times, and I have a feeling we're going to see it 1,000 times more. However, like I said, this one is better than the robot because it actually does have some funny moments in it. So let's get to the highlights. First one is when Gumball is trying to figure out where to go, and he suggests to look at the stars. But Darwin says that there's no stars out because it's daytime, leading to Gumball saying that the sun itself is a star. Just look directly at it and it will tell you where to go. And then their eyes catch on fire, and Darwin's immediate reaction to his eyes being on fire is to very calmly say, "There are no words to describe the pain I feel right now." And then, of course, Gumball responds with, "Yeah, of course there is." And then starts yelling in pain. It's Darwin's, like, perfectly flat, normal delivery that makes this line so funny. At least for me. Then the second highlight is Gumball still can't roar. We had this part in another episode, but this was a nice little reminder. Where Gumball is trying to act like a hunter, and he's like, "Oh, I don't need a weapon, Darwin, I have claws." And then he tries to roar, and once again, just like the painting, he sounds like a house cat. I don't know why. I just find that running gag kind of funny. And then my favorite part of the episode, and this is one that we have seen in other cartoons as well, is when Gumball and Darwin witness firsthand the circle of life. See, first they tried to get a deer, and after Darwin smacks its rear end and ticks it off, and they find out that it's not exactly a deer, then they try to eat an innocent little caterpillar. But Gumball feels bad and lets it go, only for it to get taken by a vulture, and then that vulture's eaten by something, and then that something is eaten by something, and then that something is eaten by something, and then that something is eaten by an even more bigger giant monstrous something. And the shocked expressions they have on their face the whole time is just priceless. But outside of that, it's a decent episode. It's better than some of the other ones that I've given the same score to so far. But it's not breaking new ground, and it does kind of feel like an episode thrown in there because they had to fill a amount of episodes quota from corporate. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Final work for this episode is a 6 out of 10. It's decent. It has some funny moments, but it's repetitive, it's cliche, and I'm starting to really not like Miss Simeon. I don't know if that's part of the joke, that she's just a bad teacher, but yeah, I'm starting to really not like this character. Not to the point of how I dislike Principal Brown, but close. Okay, and that is the end of this review. Sorry if it was very quick and to the point, but I didn't really have much to say about either of these two episodes. The first one was so boring that I literally couldn't do it longer than 2 minutes, and this one is just decent and nothing more. Not really much reason to go back and rewatch it. At least not for me. Maybe some other people like it more, and that's okay. But that's it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy what you see. And of course, feel free to hit the hype button to get this higher up in the algorithm if you so desire. You don't have to. It would just help the channel out if you do. And of course, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below if you have something to say about this episode or both of these episodes or just anything about the show in general. As long as you're civil and on topic, I will read and react to your comment. Alright, that's it. See you guys next time for The Goons and The Secret. Peace.